Hi, I'm Barry Conrad, and this is Banter with BC. Cheers.
Cheers.
And today I'm here with my guest, Alfie Arcuri. Alfie, do you want to introduce yourself to the people?
Well, I'm Alfie Arcuri. You may or may not know me from The Voice, when it was on Channel 9, so the old stock. And yeah, it's me.
And we like to kick things off with something called Two Truths and a Lie.
Okay, yep.
You know how this works?
I do. I love games, so
You're
I'm
up.
down for it. Who's up first?
You.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay, I've got to try and do a little... I don't want you to... No inflection, so you don't know which ones are lies.
Okay, let's see.
Okay, so I was once a part of Budgie Society. I am a registered engineer, and I have Delta Goodrum's cat.
That's pretty hard. That's really hard. I don't know where to start there.
And Budgie as in the birds, Budgie.
I was saying, are we talking about speedos or are we talking about
Birds.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe. It could be Speedos, who knows? It
I'm
could be
gonna-
lying.
Could be lying. I'm gonna say the lie is you have Delta Goodrum's cat.
That's a lie.
Am I right?
You're wrong. I'm an architect. You should know that. You did your research, remember? So,
No, I thought no, because you said you're a registered engineer,
yeah, which I'm not.
but you're not,
No.
and then you're
So I was a part of a Budgie Society. I wasn't very cool in high school. And after The Voice, Delta gave me her cat, Priscilla, which now lives on my parents' farm out in Camden.
That's crazy. I
Yeah.
can't believe I got that wrong. How did I not get that? Anyway,
I thought you would have got that right, actually. I'm just disappointed.
well, keep drinking.
Yeah.
I used to write and draw for my high school's comic book. I used to do Taekwondo, and I regret giving up the violin, so I'm relearning it at the moment. What you got?
Draw, Taekwondo, and the violin.
So which one is the lie?
You look like you'd do Taekwondo. I feel like you would draw cartoons. Maybe the violin's not real. Oh no, but
You sure about that?
yeah, the violin's not real.
You're correct. How did you
Told
guess?
you I love games. I'm good at this.
He actually did say he was like, I love games. So
yeah.
I can't believe it. Again, you win.
I can't imagine you with a violin. You're not a violin guy.
Well, no, I can.
No, you're a, you're a Taekwondo guy.
No, hold it. It's so funny.
Where do we start?
You just grab one of these, right? After you.
What did you say? It was a bruschetta, but with
It's like, what's on that? What do you think that is?
it looks like eggplant. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's the most spontaneous thing you've ever done?
The most spontaneous, probably going on The Voice, I think, because I'm not really a spontaneous person. I'm a highly anxious person. So for me to do something like that was like crazy. Why did I just cut that? Definitely The Voice.
What made you decide to want to do that?
I was at this like turning point in my life where I was working full time as an architect. Something wasn't fulfilling me, and
Yeah.
then at the same time, everything in my family was, I was gonna say going to shit, because it kind of was. Yeah, we had my dad's brother battling bowel cancer for 5 years. My sister was just diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma, and she was about to get married. I'd come out not that long ago, so everything in my family was happening,
Yeah.
like literally all at once. And when I came out, my voice kind of came out in a weird way. Yeah, I still remember. It was like I had this confidence to express myself through my singing, not in front of people, just more like I'd start doing like little recordings on YouTube, but privately. I would never put them public. Then when my sister was diagnosed and she was like 2 weeks before her wedding, I had this stupid, crazy idea to suggest that I'd sing her first dance, which would be the first time in front of people. And
First time ever.
yeah, in front of, and I said it to her, and she really loved that. It was around the time that All of Me was out, John Legend's
Yeah,
song.
right, okay.
And I suggested I'd sing that. Which
Tune.
was, yeah, I obviously had a lot of confidence in myself because it was a big song. And my dad was like, oh, that's not a good idea. Why don't you sing it to us now? I'm like, nah, I can't. I'm too nervous. He's
Yeah.
like, how are you going to do it in front of 200, 300 people, whatever it was? I said, just let it happen.
Yeah.
And I did it, and I was terrified. And I was in the bridal party too, so all day I was stressed out. I was drinking. I had about 10 glasses of
Oh,
champagne,
wow. So how did your voice...
which now I would never drink before I sing. So look, to be honest, looking back, it wasn't my best performance, but the heart, one thing I was saying to you before, like, I'm not a trained musician. Like, I mean, I have had vocal lessons now, but I'm not a technical singer. But I am an emotive singer, which is something that you can't really train. And because I've been through a lot in my life, I think I feel things at a different level to most people,
Yeah.
and because I was seeing it for my sister, like at the time, because I knew what she was about to go through. Yeah, so that moment singing for her was when I realized the power of music. Like, I knew music was powerful because, like I said, I came out, my voice did, but prior to that, music was my refuge. It was my religion. Like, it was the thing I had that made me feel okay and that I was normal, and you know, and then singing for her, it changed everything. It opened this like Pandora's box for me. I was like, okay, what's next? And I started doing covers publicly, like on Instagram. I'd put covers up.
Yeah.
And The Voice, they started doing Instagram auditions that year, I think. And it's funny because X Factor the same year had seen my Instagram and asked me to audition. I actually auditioned for X Factor too in the same year. And I got through to the live shows. Then The Voice people, they approached me.
Oh.
Yeah. And they approached me, and then I had this fantasy of turning, it was like this validation thing because, you know, I was this young kid always striving for validation, and the idea of turning those chairs was appealing to me. So yeah, the rest I guess is history. That's how it started.
So which actor would play you in a movie about your life?
Ooh, it'd have to be like some loggy looking actor, an Italian, European.
So who?
Who am I obsessed with that I'd want to meet? Because I get to meet them, right? Wouldn't I, if they're playing me?
Yeah, because you'd have to like direct them. This is my story. This is what I need you to do. You know?
I don't know. I love so many
So good.
actors. The first one that came to my head was like Chris Hemsworth. But I come up to his belly button and he's blonde.
He's like, Chris, he wants you to play him in the movie about his life. So
No, hang on. The Last of Us. You know that guy that played? Yeah, I love him. Pedro Pascal.
he's the man.
He can do me. He can play me. He can do both.
How's the food?
It's good. Yeah.
It's good food.
He can play me.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't edit that out just in case he sees it.
That's great.
Yeah.
How has growing up in an Italian family shaped who you are?
Oh, it has completely shaped me. I am a nervous wreck because of my mother. I'm anxious because of my mother. I probably have a lot of my dad's traits. Well, my dad's so
Why
kind.
are you nervous because of your mother?
Because my mum is like a typical Italian mum that is constantly worried, constantly. Anytime I'd go out in high school, I'm not in high school, but like in my teens, she would not sleep until I would come home, and she even she has me on Find My Friends now, and she like constantly watches where I am. She's like got this constant fear of something happening to her kids, and I have that instilled in me now with my dogs and my nieces and nephews, and not to the level of my mum, but yeah, I am my mother's son, I think. But also culturally, like I was so immersed in my culture growing up because I loved it, and I always thought that was just the norm, like, you know, making sauce every year, making salami and cooking with your nonna. And as a result of that, I love cooking. My friends, I said to you before, my friends all call me nonna in my group because I cook for them. I cook for them all the time. I look after them when, you know, we go out and they're all a bit, you know, they need help.
Yeah.
I think I'm a very nurturing kind of person. Yeah.
This says a lot about your family as well.
Yeah, I'm very, very lucky with my family. Like, I'm very close to all of them, like my sisters, now my nieces and nephews. My parents, they all live on the same street to my grandparents, my aunties and uncles, my other and I still have most of my grandparents alive as well, which is nice. And I'm nearly 36. Yeah, I'm lucky.
What's the most surprising thing and the most challenging thing about fame?
Look, I feel like I felt like fame the most when I won the show, because I've always been a consumer of television. Like I watch TV. I was always like a huge fan of, you know, the reality shows like Idol. I watched, you know, religiously growing up. So I never ever experienced myself in a position where I'd be on TV. Yeah, that was kind of strange because my local town was supportive of me during the show, and just having people stop you and saying nice things, having a job that is at a global scale, releasing music and having people find your stuff at a global level and responding and sending messages and saying that they, you know, were moved by or felt the same thing that I was talking about. Like, that I found was like profound. One of probably my best performing songs so far was called If They Only Knew. Yeah. And to this day, it's still got like this cult following because we created this beautiful video for it, but the message is quite, I guess it can be interpreted in many ways, but it's basically about coming out. And and I had this girl reach out to me. Well, she commented on the video saying that they found her brother had committed suicide.
Oh, wow.
with headphones, and he made a playlist of 5 songs, and my song was one of the songs that he had added to this playlist because obviously he was like struggling with his sexuality. That just affected me so deeply that day, and I was just bawling my eyes out when I read the comment, because I was just like, wow, this is what music can do, you know? And so that, I guess that's the first part of the question. The negative.
Beautiful, by the way. That's so powerful.
Yeah. The negatives. The industry is a fickle industry. Like it's when you get a taste of, like, I remember the moment I won The Voice, I was elated, like I was on top of the world. Like I literally felt like I'd never felt like in my life.
Right.
Because I said before how, you know, as a gay boy, I constantly searched for validation, and winning was just something that I never thought would happen to me, you know? Even the money, I forgot that I even won money. It was just the fact that people liked me.
Yeah.
And then the money, I was like, shit, I won all that money too. The flip side to that is I find the industry here is really tricky because people, although they want to see you succeed, sometimes that whole tall poppy thing in Australia is hard. And no matter how hard you work, and like I've worked my butt off the last 7 years, I feel like it's like a real uphill struggle, battle, which I'm happy to keep fighting because I love it. But it's tricky. It's a hard industry.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Do you feel like, speaking of the tall poppy thing, do you feel like it's different when you travel?
Yes.
And how?
'Cause I've done a lot of traveling with music, and I signed with these agents in Italy, and that meant that I started traveling a lot. And I find I was doing all these festivals overseas, like in random places, like in Germany, in Russia, and Romania. And when you're there and they know you're, you know, singing, you've won The Voice, it's like you're a king.
Yeah.
And they're like, wow. And then you come back here and it's like, it's almost like you're embarrassed sometimes to say you won a reality show.
What's the biggest stereotype surrounding what you do?
That everything's easy. And that I remember after I won the show, I saw a family member, like a distant family member, and they're like, have you made $1 million yet? Like just from, I'm like, no. Like they just think as soon as you're in this game, you're like,
loaded, just like balling, just like, you know,
but they don't realize
you get a car.
You're spending all the money on, I'm independent, so it's all out of my pocket, right? So that's probably a misconception.
That's actually really true, and because I feel like the major label system, it's a whole different thing as well. But also, like when you sign to a major, as you probably know, it's like you pay them back before you even like make any money. Do you find is it easier being independent? Like,
I love being independent because it means the risk of myself, right?
Yeah.
And I found I wasn't working any less harder when I was with the label.
Patrick,
This is for you?
this is for
This
this
is me.
man right here.
Thanks, Patrick. Thank you.
This is Patrick making a cameo right here.
Hello. Hi.
Thank you.
Thanks, Patrick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you get to probably keep more. Am I right in saying like you get to keep more of your income because you're independent? So you're forking out more of the investment, so you get
100%.
more back, right?
You don't realize when you do those shows,
Yeah.
I remember when it came to signing contracts, it was like the top 200. And I signed everything thinking, I'm going to win. I didn't even read the contracts, which was very stupid of me. I was like, you know, I was this 27-year-old, you know, I signed everything. There was like 5 contracts. You sign an agency deal, a record deal, a publishing deal.
Yeah.
They literally take a share of everything after that. So percentages go, as soon as you win, you know, 20% goes to your management, 20% goes to, 10% goes to your label, another 10% goes to your agent. Like it's...
So you're left with like $5.25.
Yeah. Like I said before, there's parts of this game that just can't be replicated in other professions. Like it's just, there's things about singing and music and writing music and releasing music, performing. Like I couldn't replicate that in my architecture practice, right? You get like the good and the bad with everything, I guess.
Pros and cons.
Yeah.
What are you not very good at?
Saying no, that's something I'm learning. I am not very good at physical things.
It could be anything. It could
I'm
be,
not good at sport at all.
Not at all?
I've never been a sporty person.
Yeah. You train, you go to the gym.
Yeah, I do that, which is like a gay prerequisite sometimes, I think. Yeah, so it's like, but never sporty. I mean, I tried when I was younger because I knew it would make my dad happy. It makes me so happy now that my nephew plays soccer because I can just see how happy it makes my dad.
That's so
like
good.
finally you've got the son that you never had.
Yeah.
Had 3 daughters pretty much. with me. Yeah, sport. I just can't do it. What are you? Anything you're?
I've said this before, but I can't surf. I've tried 3
You look
times.
like you'd
No,
be able to surf. Yeah.
I tried 3 times, and I got caught up in rips all 3 times. And
Yeah.
I really want to be able to say that I can surf
Yeah.
because I live in Mono and stuff, but can't do it.
What happens to your hair when you go in the water?
It goes down. It doesn't. Yeah, it goes droops along. It's
Really?
pretty long.
I'd like to see that.
Yeah, can't surf 1, 2.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
look good with the surfboard, I think.
You reckon?
I feel like I've seen you. Have you been on Home and Away or something?
I did like, yeah, I've held the surfboard. Held it. Keyword.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you a
okay.
good swimmer?
Funnily enough, that was the only sport that I did. I was in a squad team growing up. Am I a good swimmer? I think I am, but I'm petrified of sharks, so
Yeah.
never find me
That's the thing about
in the
some of
ocean.
these-
Yeah. The dog beach in Rose Bay. I go there with my dog, and it's like this shallow. So we just lay in the sand in like a little bit of water, and that's my favorite thing.
No danger of sharks.
No. Yeah, even fish I don't like that. Anything that moves in the water. Yeah.
You don't eat seafood as well, which I'm
Yeah.
surprised. Like, why not? Why wouldn't you?
For an Italian, it's blasphemy not to eat fish. But
It's blasphemy.
I just don't like it. Yeah.
Why not?
Just the smell and the texture.
Oysters?
No, that's probably the worst. Yeah.
I could have like 3 dozen of those easy.
In saying that, I'm not like I will eat it though. Like I'm not that person. That
Yeah.
I was in Bali with a couple of friends recently, and we went to this cave restaurant. It was like it's amazing. It was like this hotel that discovered a 2,500-year-old cave, and it turned it into like this seafood Batman type restaurant. 16 courses.
16 courses
Or
of
14 courses, something like that.
Of what?
And I ate every dish of seafood, and it made me hate it even more after that. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you can eat it, but you just don't like
I
it.
hate it. I think it's ugh.
You tried
It
it.
made me want to vomit at times, but the atmosphere of this place was so cool because you're literally in this 2,500-year-old cave. And yeah, I ate it.
So you competed in Eurovision Australia Decides 2019 with your song To Myself, which led to you representing Australia at the Golden Stag Festival in Romania,
Yeah, which is
where you won Best Song Interpretation, which is incredible. What inspired you to compete, and
Well-
how did that impact your career?
this is how naive I am. When I got that email very late at night, I thought it was spam because I thought Romania was like a made-up country, you know, Princess Diaries. So when I read that, I was like, okay, this is not real.
You didn't know it was a real place?
And then I realized that's how I said before how I signed with agents in Italy. The person that emailed me was that Italian agent. They're like, do you want to sing in this festival in Romania? Oh, yum.
Okay.
Thank you, Patrick.
Polpette, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Big polpette. That's how I like it.
Together.
Everything after that Eurovision thing was really exciting. I feel like there's lots of things happening, signed with these guys.
Yeah.
And then COVID hit. Like, I got my first big songwriting cut too. Like, I wrote one of the songs for Eurovision that year, and it was actually released, and COVID happened. And it's like you had to start from scratch again.
What did you think of Romania? Did you like it?
Loved it.
Yeah.
'Cause like I said before, I'm a bit of a nunna, and it was in Brasov, which is this really old town in Romania. I hadn't really travelled much until then, so it's like the oldest place I'd ever visited. I loved it. Have you ever been?
Yeah, I've been to Romania once
Have
before.
you?
Actually, yeah, I
What,
sang
you,
there.
um,
Yeah, this was like way back in the day. Back in the. It's a very different place. Like culturally, it's they're very proud of their culture.
Yeah.
Aesthetically, it looks completely different to what you'd expect.
Yeah.
It's
You
like
go
out
to
of
Bucharest, the main capital
I
city.
think we went to Bucharest. Yeah.
Need some cheese,
Go for it.
even though I'm lactose intolerant.
Keeping that in.
But I found out far too late, so it's too late for me to change.
Yeah.
Bucharest was cool. I actually recorded a song while I was there. It's called Buonasera.
Okay.
It was this old Italian song that we reimagined, I guess, and it's actually done really well. It's had like over a couple of million streams, and
It's so good.
then, which was cool. Make zero money from that though, because the song was an original song like from 1970, I think.
Oh, okay.
And the only way we could release it was because I rewrote the vocals for the verses, and I had to waive my rights as the songwriter for them to give us the approval to release it. So I'll never make any money off that song. That's what I mean about the industry. Like it's yeah,
Win some, you lose some.
yeah.
Win some, you lose
That's right, but it was a fun experience. Yeah, the Eurovision thing was fun. Like that was the first time they did the Australian, like internal, like the selection,
Yeah.
and it was with like Shepherd and Courtney Act and Kate Miller-Heidke, like all people I looked up to. Tanya Doko,
It's great. I love it.
Ella Hooper, who I loved as a teenager, like Killian Heidi and Bachelor Girl. I was such a big fan, and even to this day, Tanya is like we're quite close, and she's such a lovely human. They were all lovely, actually. So it's really cool to be a part of that. Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
What did competing feel like after you did the
I
voice?
didn't like it.
You didn't like it?
No, I found it stressful. Like, 'cause on The Voice, I had nothing to lose. I was like, I wasn't a singer then. I was just an architect having fun on TV, right? Whereas at that point, it was my job. So there was this whole added element of pressure that I put on myself. And yeah, I didn't enjoy it as much as I should have. I should have just relaxed and yeah. I mean, I did enjoy it, but I just found it stressful. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and I think they did too. I think I probably had an upper hand because I came from a reality show. But speaking to like someone like Shepard, who's like they've had songs with hundreds of millions of streams. They've never been in that situation before. I think they found it really daunting too. So yeah, because it was an interesting experience.
At least you had each other. But
Oh, that was so lovely, those guys. Yeah.
so you were also in an international contest called New Wave in 2021.
Yes.
Finishing 5th place for Australia, which is incredible. How did it feel? Okay, not only performing your song to an audience of over 100 million people, but your own song, if they only knew. Like, what did that feel like as a songwriter?
I was actually a bit scared because New Wave was in Russia and I was singing a gay song about loving another man on Russian television. So the beauty was they probably didn't understand the lyrics because it was sung in English. But there was something really empowering about that though. I needed that experience because I was going through a breakup or something at the time.
Yeah.
So I needed like that to be far away from my reality and yeah, then the whole world went to shit actually after that because I got stuck. That's when I got stuck in Italy.
Yeah.
So I did New Wave for 2 weeks and I had a great time. I met some really amazing people, like from different countries. And then I remember them telling me that they couldn't get me a flight back home in the beginning. And it was when COVID was, I had to get a government exemption to fly out during that time. And everything just got worse while I was there, over here.
Right.
I couldn't fly back. And thankfully the agents that I was mentioning before, they lived in Tuscany.
Awesome.
So that's why I lived there for 4 months and I was stuck in Italy.
What was that like?
And it was the best time of my life. Honestly, like to this day, it was still, it was like this, it was like my Eat, Pray, Love experience. Like seriously,
So good.
it was so good.
Need to go to Tuscany.
I wrote so many songs. I had like a little Spanish love affair. Yeah, I reconnected with music because I was also like in a bit of a lull. Yeah, it was good. Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. I've had lots of those moments in my life, like random, like moments like that overseas and finding myself again and again and again.
Adventure. Let's get into these balls.
These balls. Heard you like some big
I mean,
Meatballs?
you know, meatballs are good, right?
room.
So
I'm going to
good.
show you
Yeah.
my meatballs. I make really.
What do you put it? What's your recipe? Do you have like a special like family recipe, or you just kind
There's
of?
no recipes. I've learned because I've spent so much time with my grandmother.
Yeah,
You literally just have to watch what she does
yeah,
because there's no like amount. It's the way it feels as well. The texture, how much. Because you put breadcrumbs in there, you put, it's a mixture of veal and pork, the way she does it. Eggs, don't put too many eggs, otherwise they become
So not too many, because I thought that keeps it like together.
Once
I
I
think.
do too many eggs, and then, I mean, if there's nonnas watching, they might say I'm wrong, but this is the way my nonna does it. They become a bit hard, I think, with too many eggs.
Okay.
Breadcrumbs, I think the breadcrumbs actually make them softer. Garlic, some herbs, yeah.
I thought eggs are good for meatballs.
They're
So
good,
that's a whole
but I think
myth.
if you put, because when you cook eggs, you fry them, they become dense.
Okay.
And that's what happens with meatballs when you add too many of them. They're good at sticking the ingredients together, maybe.
Yeah.
But I think what makes them soft like this is the breadcrumbs.
Cooking tips with Elfie. Maybe we should start like a cooking.
Oh, I love cooking. Yeah, it's my other little hidden talent.
We should do like a cooking channel or something.
Of all the girls in my family, I'm not a girl, but
Oh, look, yeah.
I'm arguably the best cook. Yeah.
Wow.
Really? I should.
Yeah.
You know what? I should actually ask you to bring something in.
Yeah. Well, it's too late now, but yeah, you should have.
It's too late now. Yeah. Thanks.
I would have made you.
What would you?
I only just made. I made a sauce with some friends over the other night.
Yeah.
Meatballs and bolognese, but it's like a Sicilian bolognese where they actually put like peas in there. Would you eat that?
Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's really nice. Like some people, they see peas though and they think,
No,
But-
that sounds good.
it's nice. I'm trying to impress someone. I'll make them like my 6-hour beef ragu,
Slow cooked.
beef and pork ragu, where I cook pork ribs in there,
Yum.
like hours, and they just melt off the bones. It's so good.
Yum,
I
that
make a
sounds
really
so
nice
good.
pesto as well. Gnocchi.
I love gnocchi so much.
Make a sweet potato gnocchi. My ex didn't like carbs too much, so I thought, how do I make gnocchi without as much carbs? So I use sweet potatoes.
Does it taste much different to traditional? Or?
Really nice still.
Also, shortly after that happened, as you were saying, the world shut down.
Yeah.
The second wave of the pandemic, and you actually got stuck in Tuscany. And during that time, you had a pretty bad fall that, you know,
I forgot about that. Yeah.
required you to have 2 surgeries in 48 hours. Like,
Yeah.
walk us through that. Like, what was the recovery like?
Thankfully, this happened at the end of the trip. So
Yeah.
I was living in this, like a loft in Tuscany. So to get up to my bedroom, it was like this vertical ladder almost. Every day I'd walk up and down that thinking, one day I'm going to fall down here. And long and behold, like the last week of the 4 months, I was holding a packet of M&Ms and I was like really careful not to drop them.
Yeah.
So I was only walking with one hand on the rail and I just slipped and fell and landed on my feet and my whole body just compressed and my disc shattered, which I didn't realize at the time. I lugged around my 50 kilos of luggage from Tuscany, then to Bologna Airport, then to London, Heathrow, back to Sydney, not knowing the damage that I'd done. And it just got worse and worse. And then it became like sciatica and I had to get like lower back surgery. And I had to do it twice because they left some of the fragments in there the first time. So I went from having the most amazing 4 months to the worst 5 months of my life with that. Not of my life, but yeah, it was pretty torturous. Yeah.
And you couldn't feel, you didn't know.
No,
Until-
I was still training, like, yeah, no idea. Like,
How
I
did
knew
you
it was
find
bad. Because it just got worse. Have you ever had sciatica?
No.
Oh, it's nerve pain. Like it's like not like normal pain. It's like a cold pain. It's weird, hard to explain. Whereas you can't tie your shoelaces, you can't sleep, you can't lay down in certain positions. Walking's painful. Like everything was painful, and nothing was helping. So I saw all these different specialists, and finally one of them did an MRI and could see the fragments was all shattered. Yeah.
And then during that, after you had the surgeries,
Yeah.
like what got you through that recovery? Like what were you thinking in terms of like work or your health, or what was going through your mind during that time? Because that would have been, I can't imagine the pain and also the time,
I remember,
you know?
prior to the surgery, I had a gig. It was with Anthony Kalia. He invited me to one of his shows in Melbourne with his partner Tim, and I couldn't walk. So I did one song. It was like we did a George Michael song together. I remember I was very like still. I wasn't moving at all. Like because it was so painful. And then I just bottled back after singing. You wouldn't even know during the song that I had that much pain, but it was very painful. Yeah. Yeah.
It's intense.
You kind of forget in the moment when you're singing that you're in pain. Like it's weird because it's the adrenaline and you forget, like you're singing and then you're not focused on
But you were like a statue. People were like, how come he's not moving?
I think I was moving.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe staying still was more painful. I actually can't remember.
So now you're all good now though, right?
100% better, yeah.
He's fine.
Yeah.
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 He didn't have to come here in crutches or anything. It's not like a
No.
hazard.
I don't walk downstairs anymore.
It's like PTSD, right?
Only upwards. Yeah.
That's so crazy.
I love pesto.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes with my jumper.
I was like, this guy's Italian, like he loves pasta, carbs, just like
do,
loaded up.
I do.
So what cheers you up on a bad day, Alfie?
Definitely my dogs and my nieces and nephews. Because they're at that age where they've got no worries or troubles and they can just always make me laugh. And my dogs always make me happy. Like I'm their world, which I love because like they know nothing else really. And yeah, and my little Susie, my baby French bulldog, like every morning when I wake up, she's so excited. And her little bum just wiggles and her little tail wiggles.
Oh, that's cute.
And she gets this little tail stiffy. It's so
Tail
cute.
stiffy.
And Gary,
That's a first.
yeah, and so it's Gary and Susie. Gary's like this, like no cares, like this very little fat Frenchie. And I just give the best cuddles and yeah, if I'm feeling shit, The dogs or the nieces and nephews. Yeah.
Just the two dogs
2 dogs, yeah.
and a cat.
4 nieces and nephews. And Priscilla, yeah.
Delta's cat.
Yeah. What about you?
What cheers me on a bad day? Spending time with friends, people that I love, and also anywhere near the ocean. When I just see the water, it just makes me happy.
Yeah, okay.
I don't even have to be in it, just being around it.
Looking at it.
Yeah, and what you're looking at right now, food, eating.
Actually, food makes me happy, but
So happy.
because I don't have an off switch with it, then it makes me really sad afterwards. Because I eat too much.
It's really good. I mean, I don't really buy that. I mean, you're eating normally to me here. I don't really see
Right
you
now I am, but
holding yourself back.
when it comes to like chocolates and junk food, that's where I'm my dad, actually. You know, you said before,
Yeah.
like I'm my mum in many ways, but when it comes to food, I've got no off switch with junk food.
Trinkets.
It's bad. What's the most questionable thing you've eaten?
Once in New Zealand, I went to like a takeaway place, ordered some chicken wings.
Since
And
questionable.
as I was biting into these wings, I just kind of felt like they weren't
Chicken?
tasting like chicken. So I don't know if it was pigeon or it was something, I don't know. It was just, it didn't quite sit right. That's what I'm going to say because we're eating this food right here. What about you?
So was it pigeon?
I don't know what it was. I don't want to think about it. It was really,
Oh
it
no.
was something, but it wasn't chicken though. I took like 1 bite, 2 bites, stop.
Oh,
Yeah.
I got such a weak stomach. I mean, growing up, my normal used to harvest, is that the word?
Yeah.
Snails. But he'd hide it from us. Like he had this big snail box at the back of his house. And they would make a sauce, like a pasta sauce with snails. And I think I tried that once. And that was probably the worst. But then we make salami every year with my dad's parents. And my dad's parents come from a village where they don't waste anything from they're from that generation, I guess, that don't waste anything. So they would cook like the skin and the hoofs. And like my grandmother would probably eat chicken feet too, which I would never eat.
You wouldn't eat that?
Oh, no.
Chicken necks?
No,
I'll try
I give
that.
that to the dogs. Like my dogs eat chicken eggs.
Oh, wow.
I'm so precious. Like I'm such a baby. I just like,
I thought your taste buds would have been more like adventurous.
No.
No?
Yeah, no. Oh, in Africa, sorry. In South Africa, I think I did eat. My friend, she's a vegetarian. We went to this place, Soweto, and it was like this little old shed, and we were all there doing a tour. And they had this refrigerator, except it wasn't a refrigerator, it was like a shelf where they just opened it and there was meat in there.
Okay.
And she's like, you gotta eat this. I'm like, are you gonna eat it? And she's like, no, I'm a vegetarian. I'm like, but I can't. It's
What was
like,
it?
It was just like, I didn't know what it was. It was just random meats. And I ate it, but I had no idea what I was eating. So,
Could have been anything.
yeah, right. It wasn't cooked. It was like, yeah, raw.
No.
It was parts of it was smoked and part of it. There was a drawer with like little things. Yeah.
Actually, hold on. Was it biltong? Like, biltong?
No, I know a bills because I used to work at a butcher when I was younger,
Yeah.
and we'd have a lot of South African customers.
Biltong
So
is the best.
I used to sell biltong and boerewors, was the sausages.
Boerewors.
Yeah, yeah.
So
But no, it looked a lot more dodgy. And then we were drinking this milk. It was not a milk. It was like a locally created beer or something, and it was in like a milk carton. And people were passing around in this. Do you know what that is?
Where were you?
It was in Soweto. Yeah.
That's
yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
brave because you don't know what's in it. You're just drinking and eating.
She wasn't. The vegetarian thing was just kept playing out with my friend. I had to take everything.
I've tried snails though. Snails are good.
Yeah.
And frog legs.
Oh no, I've done that. Anything that looks like it did when it was alive is my rule. I don't eat it. Like that's why like octopus and if it resembles anything like it did when I was alive, I can't.
Can't do it.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
You must be a really big fan of chicken.
Yeah.
Just like, oh, a chip.
Meatballs.
Meatballs.
Right? And it's funny because when I was making that pasta dish the other night, I was actually had a moment where I was looking at the mince thinking, oh my God, this was an animal. Because you become so conditioned to thinking that these trays of mince are just like, just like cornflakes, something that you buy from the shops, right?
You can't think about what it used to be.
And I said
Just
to
have to eat it.
I actually said to Gary, my dog, then I said, you're lucky. I talk to my animals too. I said, you're lucky that humans picked you guys as pets because pigs are just as smart as you. They probably have the same emotional capabilities and yeah.
So you released this beautiful ballad called Happy. I love the juxtaposition of a title like Happy over a minor key emotional song. What's the origin story of Happy and why was it important to you to put that out into the world?
I wish I had a more poetic answer.
Yeah.
But I recorded Happy 4 years ago. When I recorded it, I loved it and thought, this is a great song.
Yeah.
And then I listened to it over and over and over and over again, and I got really sick of it. And it just sat in my hard drive. And then at the end of last year, I was like, I really want to release something new. And I've got like 10 songs in my hard drive that I've recorded, paid for, written, released. And that's why I decided to release Happy. Happy is the first song that I've released that I actually didn't write as well. So I didn't write that song. My friend, who's an amazing songwriter, 4 years ago gave me the song and said, I really want you to record this. You should imagine my voice on it. And, and I don't know, I found you're probably the same where people give you songs and you don't connect to them or whatever. But I listened to this song and I instantly connected to it. I was like, okay, this is a beautiful song, and I feel like I've lived the lyrics, and I just fell in love with it and I had to record it. So that's, unfortunately there's no like underlying story behind it because it's not my story.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I'm surprised because I was listening to that song over and over again, and last night, and I thought, wow, like you're really connecting to what you're singing to. So that's why I'm surprised that you
didn't write it.
It feels very personal, the way you're singing it. So that's
what I mean with my voice. One thing I find easy is to connect to emotions.
Yeah, right.
And when I sing, like I can switch on to things easily. And when I sing that song, I find it easy to just put myself in a place where the lyrics kind of hit me home. But I wish I wrote that song.
It's a beautiful
but I didn't.
song. You should be proud.
Thank you.
What life challenge are you most proud of conquering?
Oh, that one's easy. Coming to terms with my sexuality, I guess. Yeah, I think that was a challenge I never thought I would overcome, especially in high school. The future just seemed so, I was going to say glim. Is that a word?
Grim?
Grim, sorry. Dim, I mixed dim with grim.
What's in that Coke Zero?
I told you, champagne is not good for me. Yeah, I just never imagined seeing the other side. Like it was, so if I could go back to teenage me and tell him that's actually going to be okay, I don't think I'd believe future me. Because high school was tough.
Yeah.
I blocked it all out. High school and anything prior to a certain time in my life is like a black hole. I actually don't remember. I know it happened, but I don't know if it's a coping mechanism that I created for myself. But yeah, probably that.
Thanks for sharing. It's awesome.
What are you? Am I allowed to ask a question?
Of course. Yeah, I broke my ankle. It doesn't seem as, the gravity of that's not the same as what you shared, but it was tough because not just the physicality of it, like I broke it in 2 places and there's 7 pins in there and plate, but I think mentally, being someone that's so active, who am I without having that agency just to move around and do what I want? That was quite tough. But
when was that?
That was in October last year.
Really?
Yeah. So everything just came to a halt. That was pretty challenging. It's the most recent one I can think of. Being okay to ask for help because I'm such a self-sufficient guy. I had to like humble myself, ask for help, accept help, and it showed me how many kind and loving people there are in my life.
Yeah.
And
you can rely on.
Exactly. And that not everything has to be fixed by me.
It's good. How's your ankle now?
I'm all good. Didn't you see me dancing on the table?
I did.
Kill you. And to finish things off, I'm going to hit you with some fast trivia. You ready for this? Question number 1. Dancing on My Own was released by English artist Callum Scott, but was originally by... Correct.
It's my favorite preferred version, actually.
Yeah. Question number 2. How many of Shakespeare's 38 plays are set in Italy? 11, 25, or 13?
This is a guess. I'm going to say 11.
Incorrect, it's 13.
Oh, shit.
You're about to say 13?
I was, yeah.
Which artist holds the record for the most #1 albums in Australia with 15?
Oh, okay. Artist with the most #1 albums in Australia.
In Australia, yeah.
Maybe the Beatles, but I'm not going to lock that in. Are they a band or an individual artist?
Artist. Okay, I'll give you a clue. It's an individual.
Oh, an individual. It's John Farnham?
Jimmy Barnes.
Really?
Yeah. Question number 4. What design profession was once an Olympic sport?
Wow. Engineering?
Architecture.
Really?
The first ever took place in 1912 and it came to an end in 1949. So architecture was an Olympic sport.
Dude, like just designing?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I didn't know that. Last but not least.
Started off strong, now I'm failing. Yeah.
Known for its incredible food and extra large coffee, this dog-friendly cafe is one of the best in Camden.
Camden? Like in Southwest Camden. Squeeze and grind?
Yes,
Really?
correct.
How
Yeah,
did you know this?
I did my research. I told you.
That's my favorite.
I know it's your favorite cafe.
Really?
Camden, yeah.
Oh,
Alfie Akiri, thank you so much for being here.
made me drop my chair.
If you love this episode of Banter with BC, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.